All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
My Hero Academia, Season 7, Episode 14.
Wow.
Deku is on the scene.
Last episode was crazy. Deku has basically beaten Shigaraki, but...
in his current form.
But yeah, Shigaraki, all for one, what have you, is...
Enraging
is putting in basically...
You activated my trap card.
Yeah, an opportunity for something great to change. I'm hoping that this is something that will save Shigaraki, but we'll see.
Yep.
All for one is still a very real problem. But we ended the episode on Spinner...
Right.
Just crazed out of his mind with all for one quirks.
And I like that. I really like the direction that Spinner seems to be being taken. While at the same time, I was not expecting us to go in that direction like here.
Oh, right. So I feel like we're going to get a little bit of a group kind of focus, you know, reevaluation here and kind of catch up with all the side conflicts that are going on right now. Because they're outside the hospital.
And yeah, there's some very specific things that are at stake regarding some of those conflicts. So
yeah, and we don't
they
really
can influence the others.
Yeah, we don't really have like a full on like, okay, what kind of timetable are we working with in terms of what could happen if they end up winning here, because the heroes can lose in some of these fights. And it's not the end of the world, pun very much intended.
But in other ones, they really can't.
Other ones, they really can't. So it'd be interesting to see the villains start to get a leg up in some of these other ones here.
And Spinner, given that we've seen some of that apprehension beneath the surface, with you of like, this is...
what's still there, given that you've kind of committed yourself to the cause.
Exactly. This is your last hurrah, so what are you really after?
But all right, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
Terrible day for rain.
Flashback of some kind. Whose story is
going
this?
A long time back?
A while back. We're going into rural Japan.
Spinner backstory.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Fuck. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is the argument that basically Shigaraki has something that he's fighting for that could be good. If society changes in this regard. But okay.
All right. Right, after the news he'd been captured.
Jeez. Oh, wow. Very police riot and like...
Okay. 200 versus 15,000.
Yell back at them.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't exactly have a lot of mobility.
Oh, nice! Koda! We are the backup. The only way you stop a crowd this big is literally with, like, a voice. Shit.
Yeah, because once they also get some of your gear...
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, how do they treat other heteromorphs?
Yeah. Sure. But it's all lip service.
Sure.
Oh, never, no.
Right.
You people are not our heroes. Shit.
Yeah, what's it like?
Yeah. Damn, no, he's just...
Fuck.
Holy shit!
Okay.
Whoa!
Yeah, they'll tear him apart.
Oh. Oh. That wasn't Spinner.
Yeah. Oh shit.
They have the same story, basically.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Whoa. Yeah, he can make all of those arms into voices. Yeah. Oh, no, that was just him. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh! All right.
Okay.
This is his moment. Time to be a hero. Oh!
And even the hiding the face is the like,
Yeah.
you know, it's easier for people to accept that I have multiple arms than what my face looks like.
Right, right. Oh, the monstrous like voice of Spinner just like barely coming out.
Yeah. The eyes.
Right, you're our symbol right now.
Right. We need something to follow.
Oh. Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Just that wavered the whole group
Right.
up at the front.
Oh.
Oh, God. Oh, they're like Stegosaurus spines. Of course, he was a solo player.
That no wonder you have no hope in humanity.
Yeah. Oh, he
Fuck.
lost an arm. Fuck, no.
Oh, oh.
Whoa.
You evolving?
Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Coda probably looked up to him a lot.
What? Oh, the scars on his neck, too.
Shit.
Oh, man.
God damn it.
Right, right. Yeah. Right, uh-huh.
Oh, sure.
Remember that? Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I just want to be a hero just like all of you. Mentally strong, yeah. Yeah. Oh my god. But that bitterness, like a good coffee, is like... Oh,
and then
at his moment where he was gonna end
shit.
it all, he saved somebody?
Oh, shit.
It was his decision to be a hero that saved him.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this is... Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and they held on to him. They didn't care about how he looked, yeah. The one good memory. Damn.
Yeah. Come on, Baka. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Oh shit!
Whoa!
It's like a crown.
Coda!
The coolest hero on Earth.
It's not tentacle, it's tentacool!
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah. Wow! He's fighting a kaiju, like...
Yeah. We need Koda to fly up there and just have a conversation with this guy up.
Yes!
Yeah,
Yes! Oh! Holy shit! Wait! Alright, let's see it.
Cool. Specifically requested it.
Whoa,
Yeah.
so he gave them the heads up.
Right.
Oh, even our slime
shit.
guy
Yeah,
from the very beginning.
So I specifically want to be there. Okay.
I like that it was their decision entirely, like...
Okay.
Yeah, I have stuff I need to do. Oh,
Oh, okay.
far away
Oh
animals.
shit.
It's like a Wi-Fi extender.
Yeah.
So that's the combination of like the range versus, you know, the...
Oh.
Ah, yeah! Yeah!
I love that.
That's why
Yeah.
you get mad,
Get mad
yeah.
properly.
Hitchcock birds, yes! Damn, just... He fell like 25 stories or
Yeah.
something there.
They might have gently set him down, but
Yeah.
they might not have.
Oh!
Oh shit!
Oh, focused! Fuck! Whoa! Fuck! Yes! Yes! Oh, and it's because he brought her back.
Oh shit!
Oh, the order!
Oh,
Oh,
fuck.
it's even worse! Oh, here's Spinner, though. It wasn't enough.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Helping him fly, yeah. Oh, no.
Oh shit!
Oh, this is escalating. This is...
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Whoa.
That was a great way to end it.
That was an emotional episode. Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
All right.
The
I love how this episode is handled.
the episode gave us an entire focus shift over to Spinner, Shoji, and Koda.
Yep.
And a little bit of Present Mike. But having the majority of the emotional focus being actually on the heteromorph prejudice and persecution
Yep.
by society at large, and making the point that even the areas where it's like, oh, they're tolerant, you know,
Right.
They're
Yeah, the difference between in the city versus out in the boons.
but
Yeah.
but basically that it's still ultimately, from the perspective of most of them, lip service. It's like,
Right.
this shit still goes on. You've just kind of...
You have a way to brush it under the rug or make yourselves feel better about the stuff that has gone on and turn an eye to the...
Fuck, if that isn't relevant, holy shit.
Yep,
like, this is a really good episode in focusing on that. Now, it's obviously, MHA, so we're going to approach things rather simplistically.
Right.
But the idea of, okay, we gathered 15,000 people, most of them just angry civilians that have been either dealing with this persecution or have seen this persecution probably, are now here and making their voices heard.
Yep.
But I loved how ultimately it was voices that ended up
being the deciding factor.
Being the deciding factor of the conflict. Because while they have their, quirks, riot shields, stun guns, souped up spinner, what have you. Well, yeah, the handgun that was pulled out is a very powerful visual image of what's going to transition here to how this incident will be looked at in the future, which is very fun because Deku's exposition about this is done from a past tense perspective. The idea of this being told about as an event that happened in the past.
I did not think about that. That's a great distinction.
This could be a tragedy of an event.
Oh, absolutely. Because the whole thing of the handgun, I think being brought up at the end, I think that was a very good choice, and it was a necessary choice because MHA as a show likes to shy away from lethal consequences from violence, right? Where it's the characters have scars.
And there are lethal consequences, but scars are primarily the way in which things are done in that regard. Scars are very powerful and evocative.
Yeah, no, it's still very much.
That's how we got the goated Todoroki stuff.
Right. That's there's the way in which that absolutely works for the fun superhero show that this is, right?
And you can get into the darker, deeper things with it.
Yeah, and you can get into darker, deeper things with it. But when you get into the but mob storming a hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, the gun.
People are going to die.
People have already been dying. Let's be real, right? Those 15,000 people, when they drag people away, the character designs that we recognize as individuals, they might not be dying. But they're absolutely killing people, right?
Or just the idea of what happens when a couple people get knocked out and the mob just tramples.
Right, exactly. To say nothing of the idea that like the fact that the gun's brought out at the end, that's the hey, this was going to happen. But the fact that it took that long is,
right, it
surprising.
It shows in a lot of ways the competency of a police force effectively to be able to fight back non-lethally.
Yeah.
But then also the desperation and fear of, oh, shoot, this is now a situation where because of what Spinner has basically done, destroy, it might end up being just a kill or be killed mob versus mob situation and nobody wins.
Right.
Nobody wins.
We already had war brought up in the show, right? So
this is the non-official basically act of All for One without it being a thing that most people were aware of that was going on. So it's the
I love that
it's the aspect that the heroes weren't even prepared for this. This was the sneak attack, basically. They were prepared to basically have Kurogiri defended by an attack of some kind, but they weren't prepared for 15,000 effectively civilians coming in.
And the idea that...
Versus a couple hundred, villains or something.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that our boys, they were able to actually bring that information because they were also reached out to as hey, join us. You're going to be on this side of the fight, right?
Well, they weren't reached out to join them. It was that they heard it from that one lady.
Right, from the other lady, because since they're actually in the hero course.
Do you guys realize what's going on out there?
Yeah, what's about to happen.
But they also asked and inquired about that. So it was them seeking out this information and this knowledge that then led to them being able to pass this along. And I like that the heroes tried to do let's avoid a conflict by acting like we can move Kurogiri.
Right.
And probably what was given was that because Redestro's group still has that one guy with the tech and all that, they're no, he hasn't moved.
Yeah.
I'm in their systems and everything, and I can prove that he's still there and everything.
Maybe we're even able to sort of prove fairly effectively that, no, they aren't capable of moving Kurogiri.
Oh, they cannot.
He's such a delicate prisoner as far as he could escape if they do anything wrong, you know?
They'd
That,
rather
like,
probably seal him in a vault where we would need someone's quirk to actually be able to break in and get to him.
exactly. You
And
know?
that means that at the very least, as long as we get somebody's quirk in there that can like cut through metal or something like that, we'll eventually get to him.
Right.
But I love the complexities of a group that is being used primarily just to get Kurogiri. Thus, you can see the villain's hands at work, Machiavellian-wise, like manipulating the hearts and real problems that are what's guiding most of these civilians to do this. Because, there's some very real problems in this universe, and the fact that we spent the majority of the episode actually focused on the ways in which it's really fucked up. I'm really glad they did that. Because Shoji feels like the kind of character where he's got very few words. He's literally masked up and everything,
right?
So he doesn't have much to say. But actually, he's one of the people that, after this episode, he has the most conviction more conviction than like 75% of Class 1A.
Yep.
Like he has this all the way down to his bones because in his backstory, they did everything out of order in a way that I absolutely love.
Yeah.
That is such a clever decision. I don't know if that was exactly how it was in the manga or if that's just an anime thing, but the idea to cut it in that way gives you the idea of, oh, he went to the river to kill himself, to end it all. We don't know what he'd suffered up to that point, but it was also to the point where we saw the situation and thought, holy shit, that could even be Spinner. And that was symbolically really powerful because, it wasn't Spinner. But it's the idea that that level of pain and frustration is something that heteromorphs like Spinner and Shoji all have experienced that moment.
Even if the details of their stories are different,
very different,
their stories are the same.
Right. They can resonate with each other in that regard.
Yeah.
Then Shoji ends up seeing someone that he's going to save, and then we recontextualize it, and go, oh,
that's what stopped him.
He called upon himself to be a hero in this moment,
right?
And it took him away from despair. Right. So his fight to be a hero is what keeps him strong, and it's the classic shonen kind of thing of, I need to get stronger, not so that I can be the best or what have you, but because if I'm not strong, I'll fall to despair. Right. And I won't then be able to be that cool hero that can then inspire future generations.
I need to help people because that's also how I stay okay,
Right.
Yeah.
But then the scars that he, kind of told us about, that didn't come before that then made him want to then go to the river. End his life.
That was what came after. As his no good deed goes unpunished.
Right.
Holy shit.
Because he touched the girl.
Yep.
They scarred him. And I love that the scars could have been all of the scars that were done around him.
Yeah.
It could have been that they strung him up and left him to be hung to die.
Oh, sure.
It could have also been that the scars around his neck were from a future attempt where he almost fell to despair again.
Oh, yeah.
None of it's needs to be a specific way, but it's just so powerful.
The emotion is very clearly communicated. And so then it's the, because I like that was brought up of the difference with the city experience and all that stuff.
Right.
Because it might be harder for, Koda or Tokiyami to be like, no, it's okay. It's like, well, have you experienced the same kind of shit that they have, right?
Yeah.
And let's be real, because I think this also needs to be said. Even if it's just lip service, that is a step in the right direction.
Oh, absolutely.
So, that's the
don't throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Because we're not making any progress or not making progress fast enough.
It's
it's not great necessarily.
Right. There's further to go. Right. But all right, awesome. Lip service, cool. Right, now keep going.
Right. It's a false equivalency to basically say that, because things are not the way we want them to be, that anything else out here in terms of effort to make progress in this regard is pointless. I mean, we've seen in the last 20 years alone incredible progress with regards to empathy, at a
At that
human
sort of
level,
societal level.
at that societal level,
For people that are different.
for people that are different or aren't going to fit into all the boxes specifically. There's so many different ways that could be taken as well. Like just in like so many different ways. And so the idea that right here, right now, MHA is choosing to take in probably one of the end parts of the story, in some ways a little bit of a detour to have a really really straightforward, emotional, but philosophical talk about like, hey, you know, what are you going to tell to somebody like Spinner? What are you going to tell to somebody that's on the street here?
And Shoji brings up a lot of great sort of persuasive arguments, right?
Yeah.
Well, like if you guys think about your kids, right? Do you want them to have this be their life as well, right? This approach that you guys are taking now, right? Is that something that you would still think is good and you know and all that? And then on top of that, the shit.
You're thinking of a character's name?
No, I forgot what the other thing was that Shoji brought up.
Oh well, there was revenge. The idea of don't let them take advantage of your scars.
This will set us back 30 years.
Oh, this will set us back 30 years.
Like the you know, the idea that if change at that kind of societal level takes a long time, right?
And it fucking sucks.
And it fucking sucks because you know how like of course how could you say that like, oh, just you know be patient if you're not one of the ones that's suffering because of it, right? And when you think about the very real cost in you know human life that comes as a result of that transition period, it definitely makes sense to be like, well, then that means that this other stuff is justified, right? And yet it's the no, but then but we are making progress, and now this point that we've gotten to, well, like that is not a given, right? The inciting hatred can go both ways and from both ways, and
that's where Koda's story comes in a really cool way.
Yes,
is that Koda's mom had the benefit of having someone stand up for her, and while that's nice, the thing that makes her impact in the story so great is that rather than just letting that experience end with her, she made sure that Koda would never stand for anybody getting bullied or prejudiced or
know when to get
any
mad,
kind of,
you know, or know how to get
that.
mad. Yeah.
Basically, the idea is that you could make an argument that I don't think it's a good argument, but that Shoji's basically saying that you guys aren't allowed to get angry about this.
Oh, sure.
And no, that's not the point here.
Right.
Get angry. Get mad. That's a lot of passion. That's a lot of energy. People are going to see that. And if you put that into like group organized, effective methods there, you will see incredible change.
I love that he brought up the whole thing of the heroes going into the hospital, because at first I'm like, what's the relevance here? That feels maybe potentially a bit insensitive. But then he's like, no. When they went into the hospital, the first thing they did was they got everybody out. Tell me that that's what you're going to do. Not even the asking if that's what. No, please tell me that that's what you're going to do, because I want to believe in you. I want to be like, hey, you know, like
I'll join you.
Right, exactly. But
What's your plan?
But I know you're not, right? Like
I hear what that guy's saying up there,
right?
And he's not focused on that.
Yeah,
he's not focused on that.
So come on, you know, I have to be here. I have to be opposing you because you're going to going to
lead to a lot of innocent deaths.
Right.
Yes.
And there's
no two ways about it here.
Yep. And
look at your spokesperson. He's a frothing, crazed madman at the moment.
Yep.
And I hate that I love that so much, because it's basically saying that Spinner could have led without those quirks.
Right.
But it would have been much harder. And the idea that in some ways you need something simple, large, and powerful. In some ways a little bit powerful to basically be like, yeah, this guy's our symbol. He's giving my anger purpose.
Right.
That's your job. You have responsibility to basically put purpose to your own anger. That's not somebody else's job.
Yeah.
I
like that.
I love the idea that that's what's basically being like attacked here, is that Spinner is the glaring red flag of this all. by
Sure.
becoming a standard.
The
he's
Faustian bargain and all that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. By making the Faustian bargain, he has basically become the walking red flag that something's off about this, what could be a very, very solid protest where it's the like, hey, we're not going to leverage all the people in the hospital and be like, we'll kill them all if you don't give us Kurogiri. It's the thing of, hey, we will storm in here and get Kurogiri. You can either, fight back to, kill us all with your handguns and what have you, or this is going to happen.
And let's be real. The fact that they decided to keep Kurogiri underneath the hospital
is kind of fucked up.
That's very fucked up.
Yeah.
That's very fucked up.
It's something that from a sneaky hiding kind of thing, it works because people wouldn't suspect it.
Yeah, and maybe a lot of the equipment that you need in order to,
maybe,
whatever.
Yeah, maybe there's something with regards to keeping him, stable in that regard.
Sure.
But there's probably other better places.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping
in a warehouse in the middle of nowhere, yeah.
I'm thinking this is something that could have been talked about by the fandom or what have you. But
yeah,
I don't want to talk about current events right now. It's
no.
Like,
yeah. So something that I want to bring up that I really like about this. So having it be something where Spinner effectively loses agency as a character.
Yeah.
Because he's he's
made
in
the
that
bargain.
He made the bargain. He made that sort of. Now he's in that sort of mindless rampage. It would be very easy for the lack of character agency to really take away the impact of this scene.
Well, it takes away from his,
right,
dream and goal.
Right,
here, yeah.
but I think it works in this situation because it was something that was as a result of Spinner's decision, even if he didn't realize that it was necessarily going to have those consequences.
No, I think he knew. He's seen what happened to Shigaraki.
Well, and not just Shigaraki. Well, yes, even though he did specifically.
Literally, that's the thing. Spinner has been watching Shigaraki lose himself.
Yes, absolutely.
And they've been showcasing over and over and over again the last 2 seasons of the Spinner being like, hey, man, you good?
Right.
Like,
to say nothing of the fact that that's what the Nomus are.
Yes.
Yes. Right. So
everybody knows that.
And that's something that I think is important here, and we'll see to what degree it ends up kind of being brought into other areas of the show.
Right.
But the idea of the Faustian bargain that could give you power, right, at the cost of yourself, right? Yeah. In a lot of ways, I feel like that it's a milder version of that. They're kind of doing with Endeavor versus All for One.
Okay.
Where it's the like, nope, I can't think about anything right now. I need all the anger, I need all the rage, I need all the everything because I need to burn as hot as fucking possible, right? And that decision is one that everyone has access to.
Yes.
Right? We might have different levels of external pressures to consider that decision, but that's something that we need. Like, I feel like it's important to see in fiction like this because that's Deku is not safe from that. As an example, right?
No, not at
he
all.
Absolutely, when he saw that Bakugo was dead, he flipped the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
He needed someone to shake him out of it, right? And if there were a situation where maybe the decision becomes permanent, right, that would that really suck to understatement of the century, right?
I think that's what's going to be the tragedy of Spinner. Is I think he's probably going to die in this attack or what have you.
At the very least, he's going to die not long after this, even if he does survive, because of the whole Nomu thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But the moment where our guerrilla police guy pulls out the handgun and is like, well, here we go. And he just fire once. He just pop, 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 pop. Like, I hope MHA doesn't basically just cut to then have the whole next part of this conflict be in the hospital, and it's just like, oh, nothing, happened outside. We don't
right, because from a
that
plot standpoint, as far as affecting the other fights that are going on, it's all about the hospital and what happens with Kurogiri. Does he get busted out?
Yeah,
but
right. But there's an emotional beat of things with Koda and Shoji that they might be able to just kind of gloss over here. But it looks like the villains have won, basically. One, because now the civilians are going to see basically the police here now just open firing on civilians at this point.
Oh yeah, right. Like the no more talking at this point.
No more talking at this point.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that means that there's a very real danger for Shoji and Koda. Now, they might be able to just fly away with, Hitchcock birds, crows, kind of squad and stuff like that. So I think there might be fine, but it would be a very powerful image to then, when the villains start to kind of swing back on the rise here, show the aftermath maybe of what happened here.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the part where, regardless of how MHA like kind of keeps building toward its end and stuff like that, there are things that I want to see explored in the equivalent of a post-conflict epilogue with these kinds of episodes being brought up.
Deku, you're the greatest hero. That's fantastic. You saved Shigaraki and potentially the whole world as a result.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's awesome. But there was a massacre over here.
Right.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very, very excited to have also the dramatic and potentially like end of the character of Spinner, who I think in some ways is one of the most, I say this with all the love possible, I think one of the most disappointing executions in the League of Villains group.
Oh, sure.
Because of the way they handled season 5. I feel like Spinner could have been one of the best characters in MHA.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we're getting all this extra stuff here, but it really feels like he was half-baked over the course of the series. So I'm just glad that we might be getting another episode to him, even though it might be his end. I am looking forward to that.
Right.
Because it's kind of the same thing with Shoji, where Shoji just only had like a few key moments in the series up until now that were like, oh, those are some cool little things there to show he's there and he has a personality and he's different and stuff.
And the stuff that we're getting with him here is great.
Amazing.
Yeah, so
but it's
awesome.
It's still the kind of thing of where we're wrapping up loose ends in the structural sense of the MHA series as a whole, and it feels bad that in some ways I'm excited because it's like, oh cool, finally we're getting some really good, or we're getting a little bit more good Spinner content, and it's almost feels like, it's kind of late for that too.
Right.
Damn.
Yeah, like if not for the fact that it had such a big level of relevance with the fight as a whole in all those other areas, it very easily could have been left behind. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's the reason why the heteromorphs were given this task from a meta writing, like creating the manga standpoint, because then that's a way in which, this thing that I wanted to explore more that didn't ever really take the spotlight, here's a reason why it will demand the spotlight.
Right. I really feel like there were moments actually where you could tell they were explored a little bit, but it feels like either something was cut or something was just not followed up on in the adaptation.
Right. The story ended up following the patterns of like it's the conventions that it had already set up, and as a result of that didn't like.
Basically, stuff like this makes me want to go back and read the manga and see what we might have missed.
Sure.
That's the kind of the disappointing thing about MHA is primarily that I think it's a wonderful anime for the most part, but it really has suffered in terms of adaptation like along the way.
Yes. And given that Spinner is such a side character and like the moments that we get from him are those very like small moments and stuff, I would not be surprised at all that there could have theoretically been a lot more that we got with Spinner over the course of the manga.
Definitely
that was then cut because, well, hey, he's very much a tertiary character. So, we'll just do that.
But I feel like he could have been focused to the same level that Dabi was.
Oh yeah, no. From the meta standpoint, he was set up in the same way as Dabi, and
he was part of that OG crew in season 3.
Yeah, exactly. And he very much felt like he kind of stood out in the like.
Oh, he absolutely stood out. He was a stain. He was a stain copycat.
Stain copycat, but also he's an adult.
He's an adult. Yeah.
Like the other two are the teens, right? Yeah. So of course they have their way that they fit in nicely into the teen superhero story.
Right.
But Spinner, not as much. And I would have loved to have gotten more from Spinner.
Same. But All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see full length timer reaction, go check out the card up there for that. You can get on our Patreon. Any level support there gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. Also, be sure to check out our Twitch channel in the card up there as well. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.